What's up, comic fans? And it's time for that new comic book day haul plus review. So we got books. We got books from last week, so we're gonna review those. Plus we got 50 centers, and we're gonna get all into it right after this.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Welcome back. All right. We're gonna start off with the 50 centers. Alright, so these are DC 50 centers. Picked a few out just to show. First off, we got Infinite Frontier, issue 0. Nice. I don't know who did this cover. Who did the cover? It's a nice cover because it's a wraparound cover. And let's see. Probably should have looked at this before we started the video. Looks like Jurgens and Yanin. So that's a pretty cool creative team. Like when they used to just say cover by Dan Jurgens and Mikkel Yanin. Alright, there we go. It is a wraparound though, so figure I'd show you that. Originally this was a $5.99 book. Got it for 50 cents. That's cool. Way more time than we should have spent on a 50-cent book. Next up, we got Lois Lane number 7. Picked this up because it's a cool cover. That really is the reason. This was part of the 12-issue maxi series starring Lois Lane. A little dark inside. The Question was part of it. Let's see. We had a character who had a first appearance in here, and just kind of realistic artwork in here. So Lois Lane, I think a lot of people who read that enjoyed it. And then last but not least, we've got Legends of the Dark Knights number 1. This was the first appearance of the Robin King. Remember when this came out, people went Google Gaga for it. We also had I think there was a 1 in 25 that people were paying upwards of like $300 for, or something to that extent. That book is nowhere near those heights anymore. I think I paid like $50 for it, and that was still overpaying. But you never know. If the Robin dude ever picks up steam, you never know. There's the king, the Robin King. So, who knows? All right, let's get into the books from this week. Remember, when I filmed this, it wasn't Wednesday yet, so we didn't have another new comic book day haul coming out yet. So these books are new as of the time I filmed. But anyway, out of DC, we got Superman Action Comics Arctic Assault. I didn't get to read this yet, but we were close enough to finishing most of the books that I was like, you know what, we're gonna make the video, because what we did read out of DC this week was Absolute Batman number 7. All right, we have Dr. Freeze in this one. All right, it's like, I think it's Victor Freeze Jr., so it's not even Nora and Victor himself, but it's their son, and he believes that ice, well, his parents believe that ice was like regenerative, and would, you know, solve a lot of issues, save a lot of people, and he kind of got turned into a monster by the ice and does not think that. So Bruce here, you know, he's got to lay low. He can't really use the Batman persona. Right now, Alfred's away, so this is starting a whole new arc, and he's kind of got to figure out how to approach what's happening at some black sites around Gotham, and goes to check out, you know, Victor Freeze's place, and then Mr. Freeze comes out, and ooh, it's towards the end, so you kind of get a oh no kind of moment. So we don't get Batman in the bat suit, but if you notice here, right? He's in his bat suit, and then on the bottom of the cover, I don't know if you can see that, there's some blood in the snow. A little subtle thing done with the cover, but pretty cool and effective. All right, next up, this was a preview edition. Found this on the shelf. I think it was like $4 or $5, but we have Free Planet, the preview edition, issue number 1. I figured I'd try it out, you know, see what's going on in here. Basically, we have a revolution on a planet, right? And the revolution wins. And so they create this team, this freedom force to kind of protect this planet, but this planet is starting from scratch, right? So maybe a kind of a futuristic take on you know, how America came to be. Also some social commentary in there, and you know, maybe some military commentary as well, political commentary, or you know, just a lot of things that I think might be pertinent to what's happening today. There's no president in there, not yet, no true leader. But that's the thing. This fledgling planet is trying to learn how to govern itself, and you know, the repercussions of what happens when you start a revolution, and you know, trying to build from scratch, and the belief that you know you can create something. So Free Planet preview edition, cool. Also out of Image, we have Spawn 363. Todd McFarlane's back to writing Spawn. Didn't get to read it yet, but this is the first cover appearance of Nyx on, you know, on a non like store exclusive cover. So found that pretty cool. Here we have Transformers number 19. Did get to read this. We have some Megatron backstory going on. You know, what happened to Megatron? Where was he? You know, how he came to be now. Just stuff that happened to him in the past. Maybe ties into Void Rivals a little bit. But Megatron has been through some ish, and that might explain why he's always so angry. All right, next up we have the Incredible Hulk number 24. Hulk and why do I always forget her name? Anyway, Hulk and his compadre. I always forget her name. I want to say Lydia, but it's not Lydia. And it's like such a it should be like such an easy name to remember. Anyway, Hulk and Charlene Tidwell, they show up at Doctor Strange's abode, but instead of Strange being there, they run into Clea, and Clea's like, yeah, you know, Doctor Strange said you'd probably stop by. Meanwhile, Doctor Strange is off in Asgard trying to be, you know, Sorcerer Supreme of Asgard. True story. That's why he's not in the book, because he's off in Asgard. Anyway, shows up, and turns out that the monsters got to the sanctum first, and somehow overpowered Clea. We have no idea if Clea's dead or not, but they did steal some of her powers. They trap Hulk in a room. Pretty gruesome scene. They trap, well, Bruce Banner in a room that won't let, you know, the Hulk can't exist in this room, so to speak. And they go to town on Banner, basically, you know, rip him to shreds, and then eat him. These Lycans eat him. Their big mistake, though, is they leave the room, which, you know, from, as we know from the Immortal Hulk and so forth, that the Hulk is, you know, the Green Door doesn't really exist anymore, right? But the Hulk is immortal, doesn't die. So anyway, he manages to put himself back together, comes out of the guts of these creatures that have eaten him, pieces himself back together, beats on some demons, including the one pretending to be Clea, and then Thor shows up, and the thing is, Charlene has the god skin, which is just turns her into a monster basically, and it's demon skin. Like, it's gonna make you bad. But Thor's like, yo, I need that back, and it sets up for a matchup between the Hulk and Thor. So it looks like we might have another classic Thor Hulk throwdown at the end. Next up, we have the Ultimates number 11. We have the first appearance of the Ultimate Universe's Loki. He basically usurps the power from Odin, kind of rules over Asgard. Becomes kind of a slovenly fat king. No longer the Lord of Tricksters, just the Lord who, you know, is lazy and doesn't do anything. Anyway, Thor comes back, sees what's going on. Well, he knew what's going on, but sees things have gotten bad, and him and Lady Sif are gonna, I guess, mess some ish up. Next up, we have Star Wars Jedi Knight. We have the first full appearance of Atha Prime in here. Atha Prime's a bad dude, if you will. He's kind of genetically bio-altering these creatures. Their skin's tough as hide, almost so tough that lightsabers can't get through it. They can from the underside, you know. Anyway, the Jedi figure out how to defeat these creatures and think they've killed them all, but Atha Prime gets away in a spaceship and he's got more of those creatures on it. Sorry guys, I'm giving away spoilers today. And then last but not least, we have the Amazing Spider-Man number 1. Go check out Brian LCS's channel for his review on Spider-Man and usually all things Spider-Man. He'll do reviews on multiple Spider-Man series that are out there. But this is a wraparound cover, so I threw it in one of those clear bag boards. Well, the bags are usually always clear, but one of those clear backboards. I don't know why, because I could have just pulled it out and showed you guys, but every once in a while, I like to use one of these. So it's ASM number 1. I decided to use it. But we've got like the classic, not even classic, we've just got Spider-Man's Rogue Gallery for a while here, including the Goblin Queen. She made the cut. Doc Ock, Mysterio, Roderick Kingsley. Is that Roderick Kingsley? No. Well, the Hobgoblin's definitely in here. That looks more like Tombstone. Yeah, Tombstone's there. Craven, Chasm, somebody I don't know, Electro, Lizard, Shocker, Rhino. Rhino is actually in the comic. Rhino suffers a incident, if you will. It's a heart attack, and Spider-Man saves him. And there's a reason why, and it looks like Roger Kingsley is involved in that. All right, comic fans, that was my new Comic Book Day haul plus review. Hopefully you enjoyed it. We had some 50 centers here. If you did like the content, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and give me a thumbs up, please. And thank you. So do what you do. I'm gonna do what I do. I'm gonna get ready for this week comics. Peace. We're out. Deuces. Ka-ching. We out. We're gonna get into it all right after this.